Okay, I wanted to do a quick video, not too quick, that will go into the 3 bandhas or locks that I sometimes refer to during classes. And so I know some of my students know the locks and then some might not. So I just wanted to introduce what they are and how to activate them. So they really are a sequence, and quite a natural sequence, that happens when we release our spine to the space above us. So let me explain what I mean by that. I'm going to come into rock pose because I think it's easiest to feel the root lock in this particular posture. So, if you were on a long car trip and you really had to pee and there was no place to go, and you were trying to hold it in, that's the root lock. It's a pulling up on the pelvic floor, inward and upward. So it's not pushing down, and some people mistake that. It's actually pulling up. So just practice that sensation of using the muscles around the anus, around the perineum. Just tighten that and then release, and that is the root lock. But as I said, the locks, they're very interconnected. And so if you were to go ahead and let yourself kind of frump just a little bit forward. And then I want you to think of activating that root, that center. And then just notice what happens, that lift. If it continues, then it moves up into the belly. And you might feel the belly drawing in towards the center of the body, towards the spine. Now we're starting to get away from the Mula Bandha into Uddiyana Bandha, or the midlock. And if you continue to grow that sensation, then what happens is this tissue of the belly starts to move inward and upward, and the flow continues up into the throat lock. And so let's go back to the root and just take this one step at a time. So again, just activating the root lock as if you're trying to stop the stream of urination. And then just notice, if you continue with that movement, that it takes the belly inward. And if you continue with that sensation, you feel a hollowing out under the ribs. And if you lengthen the spine under that, then automatically, rather than thinking of bringing the chin to the chest, which is sometimes the way that it's described, it's not quite accurate, then, so root, and then belly, and then in and up. And it's just a matter of lengthening here in between the shoulder blades that creates bond in the throat. Okay, so it's not that you're doing this mechanically with the head. It's that you are it's easier to see from a frumpy position, so that's why I'm doing it this way. So if I start with the root, the Uddiyana, and I'm sorry you can't see that because of so I'm going to just let everything hang out. Okay, and then the root lock, and then the Uddiyana, and then up the spine. Okay, so these are subtle things. They're not things to force or push. So often the mistake is, as is in so many things that we do, it's overdoing it or thinking that you have to really try hard. It's not that. It's subtle, The other thing that might help, you can try these locks in different positions. So we just did them sitting. That's one way. but you also might feel them lying down in a little different way, or perhaps more beneficial for you. So if you're going to do that, just come into constructive rest with your knees bent. And just take a moment to become comfortable here. And so with the root lock, with the Mula band, you can just, again, pretend that you are stopping the flow of urination. And so feel that pulling up of the tissues up and in towards the center of the body. And then to engage more with Uddiyana Bandha, what you can do is put your hands at your groin and push your thighs gently away from the body, directly down. So not up towards the knees, but directly down towards the edge of the mat. And just create some traction in the lower back gently. And really, it's not about the lower back and the traction, it's about the belly. So we want to feel open and empty through the belly as you just press away with the arms. It creates some space here. And as you do that, you can start to feel and bring this tissue into the upper ribs, into the lower ribs and up. And as you do that, just play with that a little bit. Take your time, feel it for yourself, find the truth of it for yourself. If you are honest with yourself, then when you get it, you'll know you got it, because it'll be easy, it'll be effortless, and it'll make sense. So if it's not making sense yet, don't sweat it, just keep working with it, keep being curious, keep trying different things, and just follow the guidance until you comprehend it on the level of the body. Okay, so then what happens is, as a result of pushing away with the hands, the shoulders tend to come up towards the ears, and just notice how when you do that, the head presses into the ground. And there's a lengthening through the back of the neck, right? And maybe even in between the shoulder blades, you can feel a little action there. And that's what takes the chin towards the chest. And so we go from the Mula Bandha at the bottom, squeezing up there. You'll feel the connection in your belly right away if you're doing that correctly, because it's all connected. Okay, and then you start to press away so that you can open up the Uddiyana Bandha, bringing that tissue in towards the lower ribs and up. And then as a result of everything really happening at once, I'm just kind of pointing out these things in isolation so you can feel them. Then noticing the shoulders moving up towards the ears and how that helps you adjust maybe through the back of the shoulders and that spine from the thoracic all the way up through the neck. Okay, so we don't need to do anything with the head. It will happen as a result of pushing away and up. So that's just another way. And then after you've practiced lying down, you can come back to a seated posture and practice again seated. And you can also take the practice into standing poses. So you can just stand in mountain pose and engage each lock one at a time. Or, just in one continuous flow. When we hold all three locks together, that's called the master lock. And that's used in a lot of pranayama and some meditations and whatnot. So, we can use them in isolation, or we can use them all together, the master lock. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. Refer to it again if you need to, and master those locks. Okay, bye-bye.